This is Future Minor. So Flat Earther Joe Hanvey has released some more incredible information about how you can explain the rotation of the stars below the equator. So in the Antarctic area, the stars rotate opposite direction than when you're in the north. And now this is something that we can explain. And you have now evidence to show that you can explain this on a flat Earth.
All right, you can see the singular rotating star field on top of the dome. I have projected it into the top of the dome. When I come in here, what's interesting is, see how you get these two different looking anti-rotations. So I'm focused on the southern sky on the other side of the dome right now. When I back out, you see it looks like one star field. And it is one star field. It's one star field rotating in one direction. When you come in, the way the dome manipulates the light, you see it separate. And you get anti-motion in the southern part of the motion that is actually happening in the top of the dome. So you get that anti-motion. You focus on the southern part of the dome. There's the southern part of the dome. Coming back in the north, right in between is that equatorial line. We're going to take a long exposure here and attach that to the end of this video. But you see the singular rotating star field projected into the dome. Come in, the way the dome manipulates the light is what causes that apparent anti-rotation in the southern part of the hemisphere. It is explainable on the flat Earth. This shows it perfectly. Again, the long exposure will be attached to the end of this. Hope you like it.
So this was one of the big three things that globe earthers thought they had flat earthers on, but over time we figured out how to explain these things. So the big three is, and I discussed this in my previous videos, so it's the southern star rotation, it's the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and it's also the southern flights. So they're saying with all these three, you can't explain that on a flat Earth, but over time we've looked at it and we've been able to actually explain these things. So it's not the nail in the coffin that globe earthers thought it was, when you can have a logical explanation. I'll leave a link where I go into more detail about some of these things. You're going to want to check out my other Joe Hanvey video where he shows the 24-hour sun demonstration in Antarctica. So there is a way to explain things like this. And he is actually expecting to see the 24-hour sun, from what I understand. A lot of flat earthers are expecting the opposite, but this guy, he is actually expecting to see the 24-hour sun. On my end, I'm just going to have to use the wait and see approach. On my end, we're all anticipating a sunset, though. That would be proof of the flat Earth. When it comes down to it, this 24-hour sun is going to be very interesting. But when it comes to the southern star rotation, you can see how Joe Hanvey is now demonstrating how that can work on a flat Earth, and it's using the properties of the dome firmament. So the Bible speaks of the dome having properties like glass and stuff like that. Plus, we know about how rainbows are said to use the reflective properties of the dome firmament plus sundogs. So there's evidence of the dome firmament right there. Plus, you have other explanations like the toroidal field and things like that. But when it comes to these stars, well, I explained one of the original explanations was different from this one, and it actually might actually go together once you start looking more into it. We'll see. But the original explanation, as I explained in my last video, was, well, if you're facing south, you're going to see things differently. So if you're facing north, you're going to see the stars rotate from the right to the left. And if you face the south, you're going to see the stars rotate from the left to the right, I believe is what they're saying.
So the counterclockwise and clockwise direction is super simple. It's based on looking different directions. Stars drop due to perspective, so we're actually looking out towards them, not directly up. Wait, do you agree that if I was looking out and something was spinning one way and then I looked at it from the other direction, it'd look like it was spinning the opposite way?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't.
So when it comes down to it, basically they're saying that the stars move in one motion the whole time. There's not stars moving in different directions. It's just perspective. That was the original explanation. And I believe that to be true. So with the new demonstration by Joe Hanvey, we see that what we're seeing is the reflective properties of the dome. When you're looking at the star rotation in the south, you're going to be seeing almost like two domes, it would look like. And really, it's just the reflective properties. And this would actually, I'm sure, explain the 24-hour sun as well, where you would see a sun in the sky, but it wouldn't have to actually be there. It would be optics from the dome firmament. So with this information, we can now see a very interesting demonstration of how stars can rotate in the opposite direction when you're in the Antarctic area or below the equator. And so with this repeatable demonstration, we now have a way to explain these things, and it's not going to be the end of discussion when someone brings up these types of things. So this is a very interesting observation. Plus, we know there's a lot of things when it comes to the stars, like the Polaris star, where before they removed the Georgia Guidestones, you were able to look through a hole in the Georgia Guidestones, and this setup was there for over 40 years. So that whole 40 years, you would be able to see the Polaris star through that hole, and it never moved. So with the solar system, you wouldn't expect to see that. You would expect all types of chaos in the skies. You wouldn't have this perfect clock system in the sky where you can have something like this actually occur, where you can see a star in the same spot year after year after year, and it never moves. So also we see how the constellations appear to be the exact same constellations since the recording of the stars. So we never see any different constellations there. It's always the same set of stars that they were looking at and recording throughout history. And you wouldn't expect that in the solar system, because you would expect all these things to be going their own directions and not really having this uniformed movement and this way for the stars to just be in place like that, fixed in the sky. Shows us that we're not flying through outer space, and everything's here for us. The stars are here for us. The sun is here for us, and it's here for the earth, and it's our clock system. So the stars are doing one motion, we're seeing, and they're not changing. So this is proof of a geocentric, stationary, flat earth. And so it also shows us that, well, the sky is in motion, not the earth. So scientists want to say the earth is rotating, but flat earthers, we're saying that the sky is rotating. And any type of detection that is picked up, like in the Bob Nodal experiment behind the curve, when they picked up on that 15-degree rotation, well, that would be explained by the sky rotating, the energies of the sky rotating. And we definitely know that the sun is rotating above us, and we see that how the moon is rotating above us and the stars. So this is all creating this energy that I believe that this laser experiment picked up on and detected was the sky moving, not the ground. So the only time the earth is really moving is when there's an earthquake or something, and you can definitely feel that. So that's when you know the earth is moving, is when there's some type of earthquake going on. Other than that, it's a stationary plane is what we detect with all of our senses. So shout out to Joe Hanvey for coming up with this incredible experiment. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. And so I'm going to leave some links for you if you want to do more research with me on this topic and find all the links related to this subject. I'll leave in the comment section and description box. I also leave links to my other channels, my social media, my Feed Your Mind store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online by becoming a YouTube member or a monthly patron. Your support's a big help. So yeah, let's get over 500 likes on this video. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.